Hey everybody, welcome back to our Blind Tuesdays. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me, my throat's a little a little scratchy just again waking up and starting my day, and I figured what better way to start my day off than to watch some porn. So I figured since it was just, by the wheel, this is eroticas this week, which are films that I'm very familiar with. And I say that in a sarcastic tone, obviously. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's obviously a huge variety of films that we could have gone with. But I figured just to go with the obvious because I wish not to go too deep into this genre. I'd rather just scrape the surface. So, so that's what we're doing. So we're going to talk about 50 Shades of Grey, which was directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a female, right? And is married to Quicksilver from the MCU. I think so, which would explain how she gets her gigs as a filmmaker. Um, but uh, this stars Dakota Johnson um, as Anna, who is a college student, and she's getting ready to graduate pretty soon. And she's taking up an interview that her friend was supposed to do. She got sick, so she's subbing in for doing an interview with Mr. Gray, who's played by Jamie Doran, I think that's his name, in a very questionable accent. I'm not even sure what is happening. He talks kind of like this, kind of stuffy. So, she goes to interview him, awkwardly trips into his quarters, his office, and conducts a very awkwardly constructed interview. And immediately afterwards, is enamored by him, and he is enamored by her. And then they start to fall for each other, and she slowly starts to realize that there's more to Mr. Gray than he lets on, and that maybe, just maybe, his desires are a little bit more physical than romantic per se. So, um, okay, so just to lay out for you guys, I was kind of dreading watching this just because I've heard nothing but terrible things about it. So I purposely have delayed this review for like a week or two just because I just was trying to I was just trying to work up the interest. I was just trying to like get myself like, all right, let's just watch it, let's just see what we're getting into. And I was trying my best to be very diplomatic when I was watching it. I wasn't trying to be just like, oh, we're gonna hate this thing so bad, so much. Um, I think that this is the first time in a while that I've given something maybe 30 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes. And then I decided to just turn it off because um, I it is so awkwardly constructed and it's so like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's so excusing. Like it's trying so badly to find an excuse just to get to the sexual material. And it's laying it out to you very just blatantly about the undertone at play, which is immediately going to become the main tone of the film about, oh my God, the sexual tension between these characters, even though they've had no setup or real understanding of each other as a dynamic. They went and got fucking coffee once, and afterwards it's about him, Mr. Gray, inserting himself into her business and making it all about his business, and then make doing weird things that apparently she's just perfectly fine with. At least to her, it's like a turn on. Like, oh, thank you for helping me out on my drunk night, even though I was completely safe and I had my friends around me the entire time. And thank you for taking off my clothes without my permission. And then immediately afterwards, providing a consensual form. Like saying that, oh well, I don't want to do anything with you just yet. I just have to make sure that we file the right paperwork, file consensual paperwork. Like anybody who would be around this guy, I would think would immediately associate him with the term freak, weirdo, not hunk or interesting figure, you know? Like what about him is particularly interesting, Like took off someone's clothes without their permission while they were out cold, slept with this person, not have sex, but literally just sleeping with them, which is already creepy enough. Um, Asking for consent forms, or for her to sign consent forms before they do anything, and always, in some ways, like stalking her, like yeah, very, very prime material, very like that's a quintessential type figure. And then inserting himself within her friends as well, like having his brother go and have sex with one of her friends, I guess just to give him more time with her. It's just like the level of like arrogance and ignorance in the first like 30 minutes and the way that it tries to persuade its audience into thinking that this is very seductive and very, you know, like, oh my God, aren't I just getting the stimulus? Because that's what erotica is boiled down to. I mean, it's practically just porn. We know this. Um, and I think that, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is fan fiction, right? Like Twilight fan fiction. That's how people labeled 50 Shades of Grey. Or at least that was spawned from Twilight fan fiction. It could be wrong, but point being is that um, what you get in 50 Shades of Grey, at least by what I saw in its setup, is something that is so like it's 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 so blatant, and in that obvious nature, it is also incredibly stiff and incredibly wooden and just so lifeless in terms of performances. Like, I don't know what the hell Dakota Johnson's doing. She's trying to be that awkward, like, oh, so stiff and very shy type figure. And then Jamie Doran's meant trying to be the hunk, like, yeah, yeah, I'm very, very sexy because I got that voice going, even though I can't tell what the fuck that accent is at all. You know, like they're trying to. It's like the very basics, the bare basics of porn. Where you have your male dominant figure, and then you have your very shy figure who's also gonna play with her lips and act incredibly horny. Also, it's like it's just yeah. I couldn't take any of it seriously. I found just like it's more funny than sexy, and that's really not a good thing when you're trying to build a erotic piece. And also, like again, the whole statement, the whole idea of erotica is also frankly very questionable because it's all about the sexual activity of these characters, which basically just means, like I said, it's just basically porn. Um, like I don't know. And I didn't even get to the sexual material because, like I said, it's just the setup. It's like real life kind of kicked in, when watching the film. It's like, would I really want to follow this guy? If I was gay, whatever, like, I mean, if I was a woman or whatever, like, would I ever follow this dude? The answer would be no, because he's a creep. He keeps following me around. He's asking for very strange things. Um, like, nothing about him is really sexy. He has an awkward voice too. Like I don't know what the fuck that accent is. So like it's it's just super super odd, you know? And I I think that's even what Dakota Johnson's character describes Mr. Grey. I would honestly describe that as the entire film. It's just oddly made, oddly acted. Um, the atmosphere is just a complete question mark. I can't tell what I'm supposed to be feeling. Am I supposed to feel horny or am I supposed to feel enamored? Am I supposed to feel like this romance is spawning? Because there's really nothing. They had coffee one time, and then they talk about how we can't see each other anymore. It's like we just had fucking coffee. Like, you know what I mean? We just had coffee one fucking time. It was our first legitimate kind of date, and then all of a sudden we can't see each other anymore. You know? As if we've been dating for like many weeks or months. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just strange. It's odd. It's very funny. And you know, I can understand why the actors are very embarrassed by these films, because it's just basically just downright. It's basically porn. It's it, I truly believe if I were to invest more into it, I'm pretty sure that it would devolve more into pornographic type of sensibilities. But it's just as the setup is, it is pornographic. It just has that feeling when with what porn has, where it's just about a male dominant figure and then a stiff or kind of vulnerable female figure, and then it's just the building of hormonal or sexual tension, and it's just so like stale, not sexy. I didn't find any of it sexy. No matter how much Dakota Johnson plays with her lips, like it's just not sexy. And that's the greatest sin that you can have with an erotica is that it is just not sexy. And that's why I gave up 30 minutes in. That was not sexy, but more importantly, it just wasn't entertaining and it just wasn't interesting. It was just like if I could take the cynical approach and maybe self-indulge, but I just really didn't want to. I really didn't want to. I just felt like I had better things to do with my time. And that's what I'm choosing to do today is just to do something better with my time. So at least I have a taste of what 50 Shades of Grey is like, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to eat the entire meal because I'm really impressed with that first taste. So so those are my thoughts on 50 Shades of Grey. Thank God we're done with this genre. I hope that when I spin the wheel, hopefully I'm not gonna land on, um, hopefully I don't land on this genre for a while. But yeah, not great. I was not impressed. I was not not. I was just, uh, I can't. It's hard to say I was bored, but I was just like I was questioning my time with the film. I was questioning why I was watching it, you know. And ultimately, that's when I turned it off. So I turned it off after the consensual part. It's like that part was just like fucking what, It's just more ridiculous stuff just started popping up, and I was like, okay, it's just really trying to find some excuse, trying to find some way to the sex scenes, to the sexual parts. And it's not trying to build up characters or trying to build up developments, understandings of these things. It's just, hey, we both want to fuck each other. But we have to create a story. So let's just say shit so that we can't get to the point. And that's basically what the film does. It just says things without much context or much understanding or much like just outside, looking in, like what it actually really looks like. It's just let's just say shit that seems sexy, but in real life, it's actually like you're really fucking creepy and stay away from me. So, but anyways, that was my thoughts on 50 Shades of Grey. You guys, let me know your thoughts on 50 Shades of Grey if you guys have seen it. If you guys have seen the whole fucking trilogy, let me know because there's a whole trilogy of these films out there. Um, and any recommendations in this genre? Any like good pieces? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, this being Blind Tuesdays, um, I'll be spinning the wheel on my own time. So whatever I land on, it will be right. It'll be right here, and that's gonna be for next week's Blind Tuesdays. So there you guys have it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.